Pre-recorded. This is the Red Ticket Blues podcast. I am Brian Buckley. This is being recorded on August 8th, 2016. How's everybody doing? How's your summer? It's almost over. Deal with it. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter at BrianBuck13 and at Red Ticket Blues. And subscribe so you don't miss an episode on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, YouTube, and Google Play. So how is everyone, though? We're in the middle of August almost. You know? Middle of August. Still the same job. Still sitting there. Oh, how was your weekend? That was a lot better when I have to answer questions about how my weekend was, because it didn't include you. So please remove yourself from my cubicle. Fuck off. There's a lot to talk about, especially in the middle of August. Normally it's just baseball BS, but there's a lot to talk about. And we'll start with baseball. But we'll get into some Olympics and that train wreck in my mind, how much I dislike it. We'll talk about Harambe lives on, and some people just can't let it go. And it's getting a bit alarming at this point. What else are we going to talk about? Some more baseball stuff. Maybe players that aren't playing anymore. Players that will be, they're going to stop playing soon. Well, all that crap. Anyways, enough of the teasing bullshit. Let's get into the New York Yankees are losing 2 players at the end of the season. And they are some of the richest players on the team, that being Mark Teixeira and Alex Emmanuel Rodriguez. Yes, the end of an era. Let's start with Tex first. It was Friday. People weren't really sure if it was going to happen immediately or at the end of the season. He said the end of the season was very nice, and it's probably a good idea. Teixeira has been broken down. He no longer is the player he once was. Right now, batting average career 269. We got 404 home runs, which is good. What else? What else? Yeah, under 2,000 hits. He was only a 3-time All-Star, too. I feel like he should have been more. An amazing fielder. There's no doubt about that. An amazing fielder. So a guy who, listen, I've given him tons of shit on this podcast. And in fact, I already, a few weeks ago, had his unceremonious exit, which he proved me wrong. He listened to the podcast. He said, fuck it, I'm going to keep playing to spite him. And I give him credit. A guy who played hard when he was there. Utmost effort all the time. Amazing fielder. Like you say, you see a lot of the infielders, including Derek Jeter's error numbers, immediately shot down when Mark Teixeira took over first base in 2009. But a guy you could never depend on. Injuries screwed with his career. He was never the player that we expected to see in 2000. Never the player we grown to expect in 2009. We thought we'd see it year after year. We saw flashes, but then we have an injury there, injury here, roll out of bed, broke his leg. Things like that. We never got the full package with Mark Teixeira, and it's a shame. It's also a shame because it's completely unprofessional. I don't care, because I don't think Mark Teixeira is ever coming on the podcast. I'm pretty sure that Mark Teixeira was probably involved with some sort of PEDs, and this is a result. He is not an old man, even by baseball terms. What's he, 35, 36? I think let's go to it. He is 36 years old and 119 days. It's quite possible he was involved in steroids. Maybe that's why he broke down. Maybe that's why the average dropped so much. The home runs continued. I don't know if there's really a correlation between that. I'm completely talking out of my ass. It's quite possible that Mark Teixeira did involve himself, but you know what? So what? It happened. He wasn't involved in lying about it over and over again, and just being completely insincere and phony to a crazy imagination, to a level that no one could actually even comprehend, and no one ever will comprehend. Okay, enough. Let's get to the other. But it's so long, Mark Teixeira. Your service probably will be looked at. Your service time here will probably be looked at as a bust because you just never achieved what you did in 2009 afterwards. But thanks for 2009. And I want to thank another person, Alexander Manuel Rodriguez, who announced basically he was cut and the Yankees let him save face, which I don't understand why. Because if you're new to the podcast, I don't feel the way most Yankee fans do about Alex Rodriguez. And for some of you that have listened all the way from the beginning, well, you've heard this song and dance before, but you know what? I know you're thinking, well, I've heard this before. Oh, geez, this act is tired. We get it. You don't like him. But, just for me, let me one last time tell you what I think about Alex Rodriguez. So, Alex, listen, he's shot too. We know that. Although a lot of people are saying that he is going to try to play after 2017, where he will come off a year being the richest player advisor in the history of sports. And that's because the Yankees let him save face. And which is very un-Yankee-like, because for a lot of big market teams, you usually don't get the ceremonious exit you maybe deserve or even don't deserve. I mean, Jeter, obviously, Mariano Rivera, they got, and don't even get me. I've had it with the maybe it's just enforcing even more seeing Ortiz do it. But these retirement tours have to stop. I'm so sick of this. It's phony bullshit. Oh, here's Mike Trout's wearing a chain because David Ortiz wore a chain. That's cute. He respects him as a baseball player. We all do. We have to cheer him. No, I don't. You know what? Last at bat, perhaps, maybe I will clap for a person. That's it. We don't need this whole fucking dog and pony show. I know this is a tired take, but it's sickening. We don't need to do this. It's unnecessary. Anyways, Alex said goodbye. He will stop playing this Friday, August 12th. No coincidence. Another black eye for the game, August 12th, 1994, the MLB strike. Why do I remember that? Well, I'll tell you, my birthday is on August 13th. I was supposed to be at the game, and they were supposed to have my name up on the billboard. I've probably talked about this before, up on the Jumbotron. It never happened. This one, right here. This one. I'm taking them back. Goonies. What can you say about his numbers? I mean, they're some of the best in baseball. He's behind maybe Bonds and Babe Ruth. He has the best numbers in the history of baseball. But we will never know what Alex Rodriguez actually was. Was he taking steroids by the time from when he was a kid? Was he taking it last year? For what I think, I don't think he was taking it last year. You never know. He could have been. I mean, he is a liar. He is a dishonest person. He is a disgrace to baseball. And some of these Yankee fans, everyone can choose whatever they want. They don't have to follow me. In fact, on most avenues of life, do not follow me. But follow me on Twitter, at BrianBuck13, at Red Ticket Blues. But here's the thing. Alex, he's not a... some of you Yankee fans, I have a hard time doing... Let me tell you this. You know what the biggest thing... Alex Rodriguez, the best thing that could have possibly happened to him? The Yankees denying him of his bonuses for monumental home runs. Because without that, he's no longer the hero. He continues to be the piece of garbage. But you know what? The Yankees put him in that position because it was bullshit from the New York Yankees to try to renege on their deal. They knew he was a steroid guy. He'd already admitted it several times and denied it. Mike Francesa's show. You don't remember 40 minutes of that? I shouldn't have to serve one. Here, listen to
day. Okay. And that's what I'm working hard for. And let's get that on the record. You say you did not do these PEDs that they're accusing you of doing.
You're correct, Mike.
Okay.
And now, people want to put him in Monument Park. They want his number retired. Are you fucking crazy? Alex Rodriguez is a liar. Oh, they all did steroids. How many did it several times, lied about it several times, then admitted it 50 times afterwards? I hate that. Hey, come on, he admitted it. Yeah, he admitted after he went on national television with Katie Kirk, with Mike Francesa on a national radio program. He is a liar. Nothing he says can be trusted. And then he makes this comment at the press conference. I want to be remembered as someone who fell down, but, I kept getting back up. You weren't getting, like, cancer or something like this. You were causing the fucking problems that you put yourself into. I have no sympathy for Alex Rodriguez. Yeah, that's me. I said it. And you know who dislikes Alex Rodriguez even more than I do? Is Steve Summers, friend of the podcast. The vial is empty. God, I love listening to that the other day. I'm sorry. He is a guy who has tried to sue the Yankees, sue the Players Union. His cousin went to jail for him, and you guys all want to kiss his ass. Granted, on the field. 2009 does not happen, and Brian Cashman told us that. 2009 World Series does not happen with Alex Rodriguez. He put up some monumental seasons. I mean, talk about 2007, won the MVP. 54 home runs, 156 RBIs, batted .314, OPS 1.067. But do you want me to be impressed by that? Well, I am. You don't think that was artificially enhanced? I mean, some of you Yankee fans are funny. You guys really are. You guys are real fucking funny because you know what? You're the same ones that think Barry Bonds is a piece of garbage. Piece of garbage. You know what? Alex Rodriguez is Barry Bonds. So while you sit there and you celebrate him and you want A-Rod Day and all this shit, you're just as bad as those San Francisco fans. You're just as bad. And it's funny to see like Yankee fans get mad at Red Sox fans for loving Ortiz and Red Sox fans getting mad at Yankee fans for liking A-Rod. You're both fucking hypocrites. Do you not see you're the same individual you're dealing with? Now, granted, Ortiz had one incident, denied it, or, then every few years says he always has some sort of little caveat that he adds to the steroid accusations, but he took something, he didn't know what he was taking, because athletes always do that shit. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. Well, just give me this. Give me a break. But that's my Alex Rodriguez spiel. He helped the team, but at the same time, he is a man not to be trusted. And it's kind of disappointing a lot of you Yankee fans. I know some of you, listen, I've never liked Alex Rodriguez before he ever even admitted he had used performance-enhancing drugs. And again, I have no issue if you use performance-enhancing drugs. If you did it once, hey, there's millions of dollars on the line. I get it. Alex Rodriguez did it over and over and over again. And lied every time. I don't understand what you guys are missing with that part. And now, boy, he really cleaned up his act last year. He had no fucking choice to. So, I probably had better A-Rod rants in my life, but I mean, how many times can I do it? How many times can I tell you I don't like this guy without you being like, okay, all right, we've heard this one before. So that is what's going on right now. The New York Yankees continuing to basically hover around 500, regardless of, they got rid of Beltran. Beltran is gone. Miller's gone. Chapman's gone. Even Ivan Nova's gone. But they've continued to stay with it. Now with A-Rod leaving on the 12th, I think we'll see, what's his name? Tyler Austin or the great hope. Here come the Judge. Aaron Judge. But that is, check that out. We'll start seeing the youth movement. I guess Brian McCann was put on waivers and he cleared, so that could open up another trade. I think he's going to end up going back to Atlanta. The Yankees are going to eat part of that salary, and then they want to get this Gary Sanchez thing going. He's still very young, but we've heard about him since seems like he was 8 years old. Felt like he was in fourth grade, T-ball or something. But the team's going to look quite different next year. And New York Mets, they're sort of just struggling right now, trying to hold on. Cespedes is golfing. And I told everyone, I said, listen, you Mets fans, you will eventually turn on him. And it wasn't the worst thing in the world. Him golfing, I mean, it's not smart. It's not a good look. Is it the worst thing in the world? No, it's not. I don't have time for a disc cleanup right now. Come on. All right. But the Mets, Terry Collins didn't want to challenge that last play the other day with Jay Bruce sliding in a home plate because he didn't know how quick his guys would be with the review thing. But making a decision if it's good enough to review. Why would you even say that? Just come up with an excuse. Yeah. Ichiro, staying in baseball. Ichiro, 3,000 hits, obviously. We all know that. He's come a long way. I think at this point now, everyone loves Ichiro, and I'm one of them. I didn't dislike him, but I know a lot of his teammates did in Seattle. I mean, I remember there's one time they all hated him, and there was even a rumor of they were going to jump him outside the clubhouse, some sort of coup. To Ichiro because he was not the most liked guy on the team there. And he's come a long way. It seems like everyone loves him. Derek Jeter even made a statement. I love this, how the Jeter is some sort of fucking dignitary or something. Derek Jeter has released a statement regarding Ichiro Suzuki. Oh my God, really? And then, of course, butthurt Yankee fans all, he didn't say anything about A-Rod. Again, they don't like each other. I think it's pretty obvious. I mean, I don't think... does he have to? He's not on the team anymore. You don't have to play the PC route anymore. He's not invited to his wedding. I don't think they're fans of each other. I still remember that pop-up years ago. I don't even know who the hell they were playing. But that ball fell behind both of them. And Jeter, the glare that he gave to A-Rod could have melted his senator body to the ground. Only just be horns there. What, do they have horns? Or just hooves there? Anyways. So baseball's baseball. We're getting there. Wouldn't that be something? I work with a guy who thinks that it was a terrible move that Cashman got rid of everybody. He also thinks Mark Teixeira's number should be retired, and so should Roy White. So, what do you want me to say? So, David Price, how bad does he stink? Just listen to Boston radio today. How bad is he? He stinks. He is not good. I mean, usually he waits till the postseason to stink, but I mean, talk about a waste of... He's not even... What's he, the 2-starter, 3-starter on that team? I mean, Rick Porcello's the number 1. I don't know. All right, so let's turn our attention. We're 15 minutes in, me just bitching and moaning. You've heard this whole diatribe about A-Rod before, so you must be tired of that by now. Well, I'm glad you got it, though. For some of you new ones, just quickly looking at email, trying to sell some stuff on Craigslist. Always a weird interaction when you sell stuff on Craigslist. They come to the place, you're meeting the stranger, they're just on your property all of a sudden, and you're bargaining about your goods. It's just a... Oh, you know what the fuck happened? So how about this shit the other day? So I wake up, I go to my car. I don't know, for whatever reason, whenever I get out of my apartment, it's a it's a two-family house on the first floor. So every time I get out, I immediately look at my car in this narrow driveway that we have. I don't know why. I always think someone's going to break into it. Well, lo and behold, someone did. I look, I see my back window is smashed. I say, oh, Jesus Christ. Why didn't my alarm go off? Apparently I don't have an alarm in my new car, my 6-month-old car. It's just an automatic key lock. But anyways, I look, I don't see anything in there that was taken. Looks like everything's exactly the same. So call the police. They show up 3 hours later. And I get it. It's not really a priority. There's other things going on in New Haven, like murder. Explain to the cop. He just looks at me and goes, fucking animals in this city. It's like they don't care about anything. But anyways, so I'm sitting there, and a few days later, my wife says, oh, get that bag out of your car. My mother works at Vera Bradley, and she gave my wife a bag. And so we go and look. I go to get the bag, and I notice it's not there. These fuckers broke into my car for a Vera Bradley bag. Vera Bradley, those gaudy old woman bags. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. Look it up. Check it out. Actually, this one was black. It was nice, actually. But here's the thing. It looked like a laptop bag. So some kids, I'm assuming kids, broke into my car thinking they were getting a laptop. Probably jumped back in their car, realized there's no laptop in it, and then probably took the Vera Bradley bag and threw it out the window into someone's yard. So how about that, huh? Glad you didn't have to wake up to that, huh? Anyways, where was I going with this story? I don't even remember. Oh yeah, Craigslist, weird thing, but I guess that ship has sailed. We don't really do much there. So the Olympics are going on, and I could not care less. People want to talk about it. People want to. The Olympics. I watched part of the part of the opening ceremonies with the song and dance, the pomp and circumstance, the long 500-yard walk of Gisele Bündchen. She is the national treasure of the country of Brazil. Apparently she's retiring from being a supermodel, yet the world still spins on its axis. How will I ever move on? But you know what? It's pathetic. Some of the shit is just so pathetic there. You have guys like Matt Lauer and Meredith Vieira, who I believe were like real journalists at one point. Now they're on terrible shows, and Matt Lauer just talking about how just beautiful the pageantry is, and will you get a grip? Stop it. And the airplane, that wasn't real, right? There was an airplane, and then it seemed to look like computer graphics. That's when I said, what the hell am I even watching? I was at my parents. I said, yeah, why are we watching this? I'd rather watch a 6-0 Yankee game. They're beating the Indians. But just like, I guess I don't know. Some of them just don't have integrity when it comes to that stuff. But I guess it's the money. I mean, guys like George Stephanopoulos. I mean, you were in the Clinton campaign. You were in the administration, the Bill Clinton administration. And now you're doing on ABC sometimes talking about, a little beef between Nicki Minaj and whoever. But dignity. I guess the dignity is in the enormous paycheck that they could wave in my face and sort of kick, push me away with their foot, like Christmas Story as I go down the slide. Ho, ho, ho. That's the dignity. More zeros than I've seen in my life. You know what? I'd report on any Nicki Minaj beefs as well. I'd have no issue with that. It's also rough seeing the local NBC affiliates. It's insane. So they're set there. The Channel 30 here in Connecticut. Be like, a wrong-way driver has left 3 children dead and a mother in critical condition. A terrible story out of Simsbury. So, coming up next, Adolf McFuckface out of some flyover state. He learned how to shoot cans with his disabled grandfather who was a ward of the state, and now he's shooting for Olympic glory. Let's hear from some NBC affiliate that I've never met or heard of with some bullshit heartwarming tale. Like, it's such a cop-out. I mean, I get it, man. There's money involved, and I'm making a big deal, and I'm being angry, Brian, just for that purpose. But Jesus, stop it. I'm just telling people to stop it now. I have no other comeback other than stop it. But I guess the biggest, what are some of the storylines with the Olympics? You see, Paul George wants to meet the French gymnast who really screwed up. Is so gross. I hate that shit. When someone like really, it's like a deformed, gross, just a heartbreaking injury where their body, their body is going away that the body is not intended to. I never understood how you could watch those like skateboarding videos where it's like, oh, did you see that? And then he like broke his leg and the bone was sticking out. Like, I did not need to see Kevin Ware's injury for Louisville 150 times because it was disgusting. It makes me cringe. But Paul George, listen, I give him credit. He tweeted at the guy. He said, I want to meet you. In reality, this gymnast has no idea who Paul George is. He's probably assuming he's on the USA basketball team. He's probably scared of his, not forehead, but his hairline that goes down almost to his nose. Him and Kyrie Irving, they have scary, scary low hairlines. That's Wolfman shit. Oh, God. What am I even talking about? What's some of the other stuff going on there? No one has actually even talked about any of the terrible stuff going outside. They had to like kick people out of their homes to set up the village, the Olympic village. All these people comparable to like baseball beat writers. It's just like a meat market. These guys, wow, the muscles everywhere. Oh, look at those forearms. Please, come on. You have a family, I assume, right? This is not what you went to college for when you enrolled in that journalism major, to ogle athletes. It's a disgusting, freaky thing. No one's acknowledging anything going outside, though. No. But I guess they're there for the game, so why would they? But you know who is acknowledging things outside? The USA men's basketball team, who I would there's nothing more I'd like to see them lose. And every year it's like that. And you know why? Just because they're pompous assholes. And it's nothing against any of them personally. Listen, they're the most wealthy, the most well-known athletes in that entire village, outside of Michael Phelps, who, come on, no one cares. If you're really, I want to know how many people listening to this are like, oh, wow, Michael Phelps is swimming tonight. This is must-watch TV. Really? Well, I know Jason Whitlock does not. We'll get to that in a second. But the NBA basketball team, they went to a brothel, but they didn't know. Oh, where are we? What am I? Who is this? What's going on? Yeah, apparently they called up a place and said, yeah, there's a spa, we have a bar, and yeah, it's a good time, music. They got there, and I guess it's a high-end brothel. But and this was DeMar DeRozan, DeAndre Jordan, and DeMarcus Cousins, and possibly 3 other players not named. And then once they knew, they got out of there very quickly. They said, I am not supposed to be here. It reminds me of like the Pet Shop Speakeasy on The Simpsons. Where am I? Wow. What's going on? The best damn pet shop around. But what was I going to talk about? Oh, right. So let's bring back our old segment. And listen, Jason Whitlock's pretty terrible, but is he worse than Lenny Dykstra?
Dykstra has been sentenced to 3 years in prison.
This is no dirt, man. No dirt, man.
Pleasure to meet you. Awesome. Can't wait to be here.
This is Sochik and Unita, am I saying that correctly? Unita Hop Nosh IPA, which I always think is from like upstate New York, but it's from Utah. And I thought nobody drank in Utah, or is that this? That's just the Mormons don't drink. I don't know what the ratio of non-Mormons are in Utah, so I assume everyone just sits there like eunuchs. I don't know. Anyways, Jason Whitlock. So Jason Whitlock, on the Speak for Yourself program, which is just starving for viewership or anyone to even pay attention to or talk about it. So I'm doing him a favor. With Colin Cowherd, which, if you've seen on his show, he does not require that enormous couch for his guests. It's very, very odd. Anyways, I'm all over the place. So Speak for Yourself, which is Colin Cowherd, Jason Whitlock, and Jason McIntyre, the big league, trying to spark discussion between these two behemoths. And, Whitlock is a behemoth, obviously, in mass. And he's very cool, though. He's added a fedora to his style because he's so edgy. I mean, think of how uninventive is that? It's like, listen, we're going for a new look. How about we do this? Whitlock, you wear a fedora. I'm sold. Go for it. But what he thinks is, and this was the same guy who accused, I think it was like a month ago or 2 months ago, accused all the media of being communists there's got to be more to that story that I'm just not relaying all the way. But he said Michael Phelps is not the greatest Olympic athlete of all time. First of all, who gives a shit? Second of all, he's got a lot of gold. All right, and I'm not talking about a grill. Oh, God, that was awful. But he is he's got a lot of gold medals. He has more gold medals, I think, than some countries in the history of their existence. But Jason Whitlock, he disagrees. And you know why? Because he wasn't exposed to swimming. Thank God the world with eyes agrees with that. But this is what he thinks.
70% of African Americans don't swim. Half of America doesn't swim. Swimming is a nice little niche sport, nice little niche endeavor, mostly set aside for the elite. When you grow up like I did, if you wanted to get to a pool, you had to carpool with someone's family to go take you to some public park to go swim. Listen, I'm impressed, but the greatest of all time, I'm going to save it. Everybody in this studio, everybody watching has run at some point.
So because Jason Whitlock wasn't exposed to swimming, and I mean all of us were because we all grew up in mansions, regardless of your color, creed, race, ethnicity, we all grew up in mansions with Olympic-sized swimming pools. I mean, my family had 7 of them. So, I mean, I was well-versed in this. So if it's something that Jason Whitlock has not been exposed to, then it doesn't really matter. Because he knows a lot about running, too. Give me a fucking break. So that's what he thinks. So unless he knows about it, then... Sorry, Michael Phelps, you're not on the menu. You haven't passed the Whitlock test. And, you know, here's a second entry. But here, is he worse than Lenny Dykstra? I'm going to say no, because Lenny Dykstra's pretty awful. And still, he continues to stay in the news, now talking about the size of Darryl Strawberry's, dick. Saying, what was it, like a swamp moose? Something like that. The guy is desperate for attention. Very much like Speak for Yourself, the program on Fox Sports. But I'm not going to say Whitlock's worse. But we do have a new contender. That is Mr. Roger Clemens. He was a guest manager at the Bridgeport Bluefish last week. And, you know, little minor league crowd, get the family out there, get them some popcorn, and get to see the players, and get to meet a legend, a guy, if it wasn't for steroids, would be in the Hall of Fame. Nothing says affordable family fun like Roger Clemens coming to the park. And I'm saying that with all sincerity. Listen, the guy's a dirtbag, but I mean, come on, he is an amazing player, was an amazing player. I mean, come on, it's an affordable day. Meet and greet, $75 each. $75. To meet that moron. Remember we had Jeff Pearlman, author Jeff Pearlman, friend of the podcast, talked about how dumb he found Roger Clemens. He was amazed at how stupid he was. Imagine meeting Roger Clemens, having to shell over $75. That's probably more than a family of 4 pays for an entire trip to a minor league baseball game. To meet that moron. That idiot. That ignoramus. God. Hi, Mr. Clemens. Hi, I'm Roger Clemens. Yeah, listen, Game 6. Hi, I'm Roger Clemens. That's all he'd say. No personal request. Taps the sun. I'm sorry. 75. Who the hell does he think he is? And let's be honest, he doesn't need the money. Roger Clemens needs $75 a pop at a minor league game for a meet and greet. Are you kidding me? Maybe that's to pay off Minnie McCready loans. I shouldn't have said that. She's dead. It wasn't his fault, I don't think. But I'm going to say he's worse than Lenny Dykstra. Okay. Listen, if there's anyone that's pretty damn close, it's Roger Clemens hooking up Minnie McCready when she was 15, trying to implicate steroids with his wife. I guess they both were taking them, but, I mean, he's a pretty big dirtbag, too. And did you hear Joe Torre? I guess Joe Torre was on the Fan, talking with Mark Malusis and Kim Jones. He was saying that after he threw the bat at Piazza in the 2000 World Series, like in between innings, he was in the dugout, in the locker room, crying his eyes out. And then went back in the game and pitched. Like, what a psychopath. Like, what? I wonder if he was that much a psycho before the steroids. I mean, we all know he enjoyed putting Caspicin all over the jock area to be like a bull to get ready. Anyways, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Speaking of WFAN, I've had it with Joe Benigno. You know, I used to like the guy. If you don't listen to WFAN, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. Joe Benigno is a guy who won a fucking contest to get on the air. Okay? He won a contest. He's a bro's bro. He is a fan's fan, okay? He's the guy that can identify with the losers that root for the Jets, Mets, Knicks, that tortured fan base angle. He's a guy who I really used to like. He used to watch the games, very knowledgeable. He has become the laziest, most ungrateful son of a bitch to listen to on the radio. This guy gets paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to not watch games, add nothing to the conversation with his partner, and complain about how much he has to work. Boo fucking who. My God, man. Move on. You don't want to be there? Move on. I mean, it's clear he doesn't watch the games. He didn't know anything about Chapman, Aroldis Chapman, being involved with the domestic dispute with his wife in the offseason. He knew nothing about that. How could you not know that? What the fuck is wrong with you?
No, you're wrong, bro!
And now he has to complain because he has to work a few more hours because of taking over Mike Francesa's spot. Boy, his partner, Evan Roberts, I think we should all chip in and get him some sort of lifelong gift certificate to a chiropractor because he has been carrying Joe Benigno for years. My God. Evan watches the games. He does research. Joe does nothing. Sid Rosenberg said on Al Dukes' podcast a year ago, I guess, I don't think Benigno's watched a game in 3 years. And I'd co-sign on that. The guy is so lazy. And some of you are saying, well, you're probably just jealous. Hell yeah, I'm jealous. That is a sweet gig, man. That is he is living the dream so many people would love to have. And what does he do? He bitches and moans. Bro, how the Patty White _ Mets, I think that's the name. It's Murph, whatever, on Twitter. He was saying, how does WFAN allow this? How do they allow this guy to go on the air and bitch and moan and complain about one of the most cake jobs anyone could possibly fucking imagine? I'm sorry for using so many expletives, but it pisses me off. What about all the other expletives? Well, I guess I'm not really that sorry for that. My computer is just loud. I'm sure you may hear that too, so I moved it away here. This thing is from the silent era, basically, at this point. Okay, let's get a move on here. We're past 30 minutes. What else did I want to talk about? Curt Schilling's running for president. Boy, how wrong was I? I said a few months ago that when Curt Schilling was removed from ESPN, he is going to go somewhere and he's going to be must-listen TV, especially with the election coming. He always has comments. I thought he was going to be a go-to voice in entertainment, in sports radio, in sports whatever, in sports media. How wrong am I? He's a fill-in on WEI in Boston sometimes. That's it. He's a fill-in when the morning show guys are on vacation. That's all he's done. I am so wrong. And he's on Periscope sometimes. Which whenever I see him on a Periscope, I just go on and ask questions about Mike Francesa until he stops answering the questions. That's what I do. So I got a lot going on. But how wrong was I? I will admit when I'm wrong. Maybe Alex Rodriguez can, follow suit one day. When I fall down, I get back up. Just like Alex, I followed him. What a piece of shit. So yeah, look for him. He said that may be coming soon. So get ready. Curt Schilling. And I guess we'll end it with Chris Sims. Brady's not a top 5 QB. Who cares? Well, Harambe, listen, I promised Harambe talk, but that's not what I'm going to end it with. We'll end it with one more thing after that. Harambe, listen, we've all had a lot of fun on the internet saying R.I.P. Harambe. What would Harambe do? We miss Harambe. Harambe is the gorilla who was killed when a child fell in. I don't need to explain this to you, but I'm going to the people who are non-Harambe fans, the all 7 of you on the planet Earth. We've all had fun with it. Now people are taking it to a new level. There is a petition that I'm seeing here. Let's see. Petition that Bengals fans want the Cincinnati Bengals. They want them renamed to the Cincinnati Harambes. Yes, this happened at the Cincinnati Zoo. So let's see here. This is what the gentleman who started let's see, an effort to Julian Ortiz from Gilbertsville, Pennsylvania, is petitioning the city and the Bengals to rename the franchise the Harambes. He said, and I quote, "The Cleveland Browns named their team after a former coach who made a great impact on their city. So why can't the Bengals do it as well in honor of a hero who made an impact on their city too?" Now, I realize this is pretty tongue-in-cheek. I hope this isn't serious. It's probably not. We all want to laugh and go, "Can you believe they got that many signatures?" Ha 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 ha. So, as of right now, I don't think we're seeing it. To sign, I guess I don't know what it takes. I don't think it would take anything because I don't think the Bengals would ever do it. Well, we got to change it. They got 25,000 signatures, so let's get rid of this merchandise. We got to get Harambe's. They said the goal was to reach 15,000. They have 12,369 supporters right now, so obviously they need 2,631 more signatures. And the final words here, the Cleveland Browns name their and then hashtag, you know it, dicks out for Harambe, which is just a odd phrase that I just can't get behind that. It's please support. Yeah, okay. A lot of other people with I can't stand the hopefully put my wiener to rest. Okay, we don't need to read any more of those comments. Listen, Harambe was a great gorilla. We'll miss him, R.I.P. But let's get a grip, people. And finally, we will end with a disgusting story. So obviously it involves the city of Philadelphia. City of Philadelphia is telling people to stop swimming in dumpsters. I didn't think I'd need a city to tell me that. How dare people make noise with their garbage as I'm doing a podcast? Do you hear that? That's my neighbors. They're closing the... I can't... How much garbage are they putting in there? Anyways, so Philadelphia... Oh, God. What am I even talking about? Anyways, so yes, the city of Philadelphia is telling people do not swim in dumpsters. It is unsanitary, and you should not be doing it. It is a health hazard, all that. And then there's another reason to that. Nothing to do with health. It was just, where it's been. That would be health, Brian. Right with it. Now, there's some other reason, too. But, I mean, this is not something that should be needed told to people. I'm assuming it has to do with hipsters and millennials and... the same place where you would put the most vile, disgusting things you could possibly imagine on this planet, you put it in a dumpster. These individuals think that you can just hose it down and, hey, jump on in. It's so what? We throw dirty, hygienic dirty, hygienic things in there and just spray it down with some water and some dishwashing soap. It's good. Just bathe in there now. Yeah, this is so cool. Is there anything more Philly than if you're walking down the street and all of a sudden you see some sort of dumpster on wheels and people are swimming in it? That's just vomitous. Vomitous. I made up a word. Vomitous. 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 And I think this line has been used 1,000 times, but it's 100% true. This is totally a plot for It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Mac decides, hey, let's start charging people to swim in the dumpster outside of Patty's. And then Charlie will say, I already do that. It's a terrible impersonation. All right, I think this podcast has reached its expiration, we'll say. It's gone bad. Not bad, but it's ripe. It needs to be picked. It's over. So, that's the podcast. Remember, if you want to subscribe, R.I.P. Harambe. If you want to subscribe to the podcast, you can always do that. And I'm not going to hold your hand. You can do it. You're big boys and girls. You can do it. It's you can do it at iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, YouTube, and Google Play. And on Twitter, you know what to do. You're going to follow me at BrianBuck13 and at Red Ticket Blues. You're going to, you know where you're going to subscribe? All those places? Well, if you're so kind enough, you're also going to leave a review. So, everyone, enjoy the rest of your week. I am Brian Buckley, and I'm out of here.